The 2022 team, we'll take a look here at these two deals. 2022 team, you see their record was 10-2, regular season record 10-2, and you see this year 10-2. You had the blowout loss upset at South Carolina then. You got the closer upset loss at Arkansas now. It's funny, you talk to people and everybody's like, well, that 2022 team, I don't know if it was just because the scoring was fun. I don't know if it was because that one was the first one and this one's been kind of uglier this year. But I want to get the VFLs to tell me, and we'll start with Will Overstreet. Going into the playoff, if you could tap out and say, look, give me that 2022 team, one Hooker and Hyatt and that whole thing, what would you do? Would you rather be hitting this year's playoff with this year's 2024 Tennessee team or that 2022 team from a couple years ago? Will, what do you say?
2024 team. There's no doubt about it. And it's purely this. You have a defense and a defensive line, and that will travel and play better in a playoff situation or on the road, especially when you're going to talk about 3 weeks break in between this last game and your next game. I would much rather have a defense that I'm going in and being confident about than hoping my offense is still in rhythm and how long is it going to take in a game to get back into rhythm. So for me personally, absolutely no doubt, it's 2024 team. I'd rather take that team into this next step than the 2022 team. Sterl. Now, you might differ on this. There's a little more offense in that 22 team.
A lot more offense in that Deuce team, but I'm going to agree with you, brother. I'm going with the rain cloud. I'm taking the 2024 team. I'm taking the 2024 team, and it's for almost the same reason. The defense is there every week. Every week they show up, and they make that play to turn the tide of the game. And the offense is getting better. Just imagine if the offense gets close to that 2022 offense during this playoff run, and we have that defense even getting better what they've been. Whoa.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Rain cloud, I can't believe it. I'm saying yes on that. But when you think about, more importantly, if we are on the road, we're going to be in a cold place, right? And so it's harder to generate points when it's cold, believe it or not, right? It's just different, especially when we're not used to it. I think as a defense, it becomes more of, okay, we're going to have to control, we're going to have to run the ball. That's where it lines up for your defense well. So I really like this 24 team. There was some better athletes on the 22 team on a receiver and quarterback situation, but I think overall, top to bottom, I think we're better.
And they were old at quarterback and receiver also back in 22.
Yeah.
And I think you also, if you looked at that 24 team, there were some real weaknesses on that defense at linebacker. I mean, linebacker, we still have some weaknesses here, but they could get outrun very quickly by fast. They did not have the speed that you need to have speed at. And so I think there was not as many athletes on that defense. So I also wonder in a game where you go, do they match up an offensive player against that linebacker core where they'd be able to take what they needed at any point in time? So I definitely think, John, just looking at this, I think people playing football, offense was great, but this team is built better to win on the road and have a chance in a playoff than that 22 team.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Thanks, guys. That's interesting. I had a feeling you'd go in that direction, but it's just been we hear so much about that 2022 team, and this team isn't the 2022 team. Well, now that they're both 10-2, and you look at it, one's more balanced than the other one, and I'll take the balanced team as well. As much fun as that offense was, I'd rather know that I've got some defense if I need it. All right, very good. When we come back, of the projected playoff teams, and we're going to take the brackets out of it, just of the other teams projected to be in there, imagining that Tennessee could play anyone, who would our guys want them to line up with? Who would you want to avoid? If you had to go on the road, which road games would you like to do? We'll talk that. Come on back on the Sports Source.